A good nerve Shabbos, everyone. This week's parsha, Acharei Mos and Kedoshim, perhaps some of the most important sections of the Torah are in these 2 weeks' parshas, these 2 parshas. If you take a look at chapter 19, verse 15, the Torah tells us, Lo sasu av b'mishpat lo sisa pnei dol, that you shouldn't pervert judgment, v'lo seder pnei gadol, you shouldn't give favoritism to a rich person, you shouldn't put down a poor person, you shouldn't have extra achmanis for the poor person. There's got to be an even keel in the courtroom. B'tzedek tishban amisecha, with righteousness you have to judge your friend. Rashi says that, what does that mean? Kimashmo, exactly what it says. In a courtroom, you have to be honest. It has to be even. The Talmud goes on to explain all kinds of different rules that come out of this pasuk. There are, between the Talmud in Shavuos and the Talmud in Sanhedrin, there are 4 or 5 different ways and different things that the Rambam even paskins la'alach, he brings them as Jewish law, of things that are done in a courtroom to ensure that everything is clean, everything is even, and that everybody is given the justice that they deserve. But amongst those things, says the Talmud, and Rashi brings it down, is that B'tzedek Tishban HaMisecha could be taken in another way, not just talking about a courtroom, not just talking about judges in a court, but talking about an individual. Davar acher, havidanis chavercha lechavschos, that you have to judge your friend and give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, that's not talking about a courtroom. That's talking about an individual. That's talking about a private person, a private citizen, because in a courtroom, there's no room to give the benefit of the doubt. In the courtroom, you're guilty or you're innocent. That's it. But in the courtroom of our minds, there we're taught from the same pasuk, we're taught that we have to give the benefit of the doubt. And the question, of course, is that seems to be a tremendous contradiction. You're either talking about a courtroom or you're talking about an individual, because the rule's not the same for both. In a courtroom, strict justice. For an individual, no justice. But for an individual, give a person the benefit of the doubt. How can we learn both things out of the same pasuk? Says the chinuch, because the message here is exactly the same. The message here is that we need to build a society where we feel safe, a society where we feel trusted, where we can trust, a society where we feel that our best interests are being taken into account, and that sometimes we are sure that everything is going to work out fine. We feel protected. We feel a safety inside of that world that we live in. Whether it's in the courtroom or whether it's in the courtroom and the mind of our peers and of our colleagues, of our teachers, of our parents, and of our students. And therefore, it's really the same commandment. Whether it's making sure that the litigants are given equal time and the litigants are given equal kavod, equal honor, or whether you, as an individual, treat me with an honor. And you look at me and you say, you know what? There must be another explanation, because you're in essence a good person. And when I know you've given me that benefit of the doubt, I feel taken care of. I feel protected. I feel safe. And if you look at many of the commandments in this week's parsha, just in this section even, you see that it's all about creating a safe place to exist. A place where there are no lies, a place where there's no falsehood, a place where there's no theft, a world where where your word is honest and we can trust it, a world where when I am vulnerable, when I'm deaf or I'm blind in a certain situation, I know that you're not going to try to take advantage of me. A world where you're going to fear God. Ani Hashem, I am God, because I know if you're going to fear me, I know what's going on inside of you. You're not going to try to put one over on me, because you can't, because I know exactly what's going on. And a person who recognizes that God's watching everything, and therefore we have to live in a certain way. And when you live in a world like that, you know that everybody's mind is on the same thing. Everybody's goal and focus is on the same thing. And it's a safe place to exist. It's a place where people don't hate each other in their hearts. People don't take revenge. People don't bear grudges. People talk to each other. Hocheach tochiach es hamisecha. And v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. People love themselves and therefore love other people. The theme of this parsha is build a safe world. Build a world where we feel protected, not vulnerable. Be sensitive to other people. Be sensitive to their shortcomings. Be sensitive to things that are beyond their pay grade. Be sensitive to who they are in reality. And with that kind of sensitivity, we can build the most beautiful world. You know, a lot of times we do what's right. A lot of times we do what we think it's right. It's the right thing. But we don't stop to think. Is it the sensitive thing? What effect is it going to have on the psyche, on the soul, on the feelings of another person? Oh, it could be right, but it could be very wrong because it's not being done with sensitivity. And over and over and over again, the Torah tells us, Kedoshim tihiyu. Kedoshim. Be unique and special. And what's unique and special? Don't be a regular human being. A regular human being who does what they think is right. But be a Kaddish. Be a holy human being. And do what's sensitive and what's best for another. And that's the theme that runs through the entire parsha. Look at it carefully. Trace it. You'll see that what these parshios are teaching us is how to live a life not of action, not just of doing, but to live a life of sensitivity with the best interests of everyone around us in mind. Everybody should have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing Shabbos. Shabbos.